The moment the buzzer cut through the air, it felt like time itself flinched. 10 seconds, that was all Simon gave him. 10 seconds before the music stopped, before the lights felt harsher, before the quiet in the room grew heavy enough to crush a dream. And just as you're wondering how anyone comes back from that kind of silence, stay with this story till the very end, because what happened next didn't just shock the judges, it changed lives. If you believe in second chances and the power of the human spirit, tap like, subscribe to this channel, and let this story remind you why hope never really leaves us. His name was Mateo Cruz, a soft-spoken man from Cebu with calloused hands and eyes that carried storms. He stood on that stage wearing a borrowed jacket, the kind that smelled faintly of cologne not his own, holding a microphone like it might slip away if he loosened his grip. Back home, he sang Elvis songs in the evenings after long shifts unloading fish at the docks. He sang to keep the darkness from winning. His mother used to play old cassette tapes while cooking rice, telling him Elvis sang with his whole heart. If you sing like that, she'd say, even sadness listens. When she passed, the tape stayed, and so did the promise he made to himself to sing once where the world could hear. The music started, a familiar Elvis intro, but nerves tangled his breath. The first note came out thin. Simon leaned forward, then pressed the buzzer. 10 seconds. The sound cut. The audience gasped. Mateo froze, cheeks burning, throat closing. For a heartbeat, he considered walking off. That's usually how these moments end. A dream broken on camera, applause out of pity, a cut to commercial. Simon's voice followed, calm and sharp. Mateo, this isn't working. I'm not feeling it. The words landed like stones. The other judges shifted, sympathetic but silent. Mateo nodded, swallowed, and did something unexpected. He raised his hand, not to argue, but to ask. Sir, he said, voice trembling yet steady, may I have 10 more seconds? Not to sing, to speak. The room stilled. Simon hesitated, then nodded. 10 seconds, he said. Mateo took a breath that sounded like a tide pulling back. I came here because my mother believed songs can save us. I didn't sing well just now. But if you give me one more chance, I'll sing the song that saved me. His eyes shone, not with tears, but resolve. He didn't wait for approval. He closed his eyes and began again, this time without music. The first line rose a cappella, warm and grounded, like it had been waiting its whole life to be heard. His voice wasn't perfect, but it was honest. The room leaned in. He sang of lonely roads and steadfast love, of carrying on when the lights go out. The second line deepened, the third soared. A judge's hand dropped from the buzzer. Simon's expression shifted from skepticism to curiosity, then to something softer. When the music swelled back in, it felt earned. Mateo's voice filled the space, not imitating Elvis, but channeling the heart behind the legend. He moved less, sang more. Each note landed where it needed to, like stepping stones across a river of doubt. By the time he reached the chorus, the audience was on its feet. Not cheering yet, listening. The kind of listening that heals. He finished on a quiet note, letting it fade instead of forcing applause. The silence returned, but this time it was reverent. Then the room erupted. Cheers, whistles, clapping that thundered like rain after a drought. Mateo stood there, stunned, hands shaking, eyes searching the judge's table as if asking whether this was real. Simon spoke last. Mateo, he said slowly, the first 10 seconds didn't show us who you are. What you just did, that's courage. That's why people sing. He paused, then smiled. You shocked me. The yes followed, but the real victory had already happened. Mateo bowed, not to the judges, but to the audience. Backstage, he called his sister, voice breaking. Nene heard me, he whispered. I think she heard me. In the weeks that followed, clips of his audition traveled far beyond the show. Dock workers shared it on lunch breaks. Nurses watched it between shifts. Parents played it for kids who were afraid to try. Mateo didn't win the competition, but he won something deeper. A door opened. He recorded songs in a small studio, sent money home, returned to Cebu to sing at a community center where children practiced their first notes. He told them the truth. You don't need perfect beginnings, he said. You need a brave next moment. And that's the part that stays with you, the reminder that being stopped doesn't mean being finished. 10 seconds can end a song, or it can begin a story that carries farther than you ever imagined. If this story moved you, let it move your finger too, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because somewhere, right now, someone is holding a microphone with shaking hands, waiting for a second chance.